You wake up from a nasty dream that tortured you almost all night long. In it, you saw a wall of unnaturally thick fog that surrounded you, slowly moving closer and closer. A quick look out the window, and you find out that the fog was not a figment of your imagination, not a dream. And then...
Hear me. Please hear me. Can you hear me? Please.
Guardian of the Bloom, a half-transparent outline of a beautiful nymph appears before you. Even in this ghostly form, it's clear that she's exhausted. Her shoulders are slouched, and her large blue eyes burn within her pale face. Her voice is barely more than a whisper as she reaches towards you. I'm glad my adventure began with such a beautiful sight. Oh yeah, actually, do I want to be like the hentai protagonist paladin? Because we already have a party of me and 3 other women. I mean, other women. And 3 women. Nah. What do you want?
Aid. Salvation. We have a common enemy, and long have I searched for someone who can defeat him. The one you call the Stag Lord.
Uh-huh.
As a storm strikes ruthlessly with gusts and lightning, the Stag Lord wreaks havoc with the swords of his servants. And not just in the world of people. The land also suffers from the evil he brings. My forests and my flowers suffocate in this fog. Soon even I will vanish, as the last ray of light fades at dusk.
Okay, he's responsible for this fog?
Yes. It hides his fortress as well as his dark deeds.
Uh-huh.
But while responsible, he did not create this affliction.
Oh, okay.
It is the work of a powerful druid who has betrayed even himself. I know not why the powers did not leave this renegade, but even I was unable to defeat him.
Okay, so how do I help you then?
This fog, it enshrouds, entangles, suffocates. If only I could learn how it was created. But my powers wane. I have barely the strength to call out to you.
Uh-huh.
All I know for certain is that somewhere in this forest lies an old house, and it echoes with the remnants of a strange power. The Stag Lord and his druid were there. The fog hides this place from me, but I can point you to the bandits' camp near the Thornford.
Uh-huh.
Make them tell you where this place is. Go there and listen to the echo, catch the whispers, search for anything that can tell you how the fog was created. Once the fog clears, nature will breathe again, and you will be able to easily find your way to the fortress of our mutual enemy.
Okay. Who are you though?
Who am I? Just a tear shed by the land itself. The bitter sigh of nature. I am a nymph, the guardian of this area. A defeated guardian. Call me the guardian of the bloom, if you wish.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I understand. Very well.
I don't believe in fate, stranger. But our meeting seems more than a coincidence.
Save location. There's no threats in this location. It is a sort of a headquarters where you can prepare your party for a new expedition. In such locations, companions don't follow you around and will go about their own business. You can speak with them freely to get to know them better. Once you exit this location and return to the global map, you will be able to choose the companions you wish to take with you, leaving the others here. Whenever you meet a new companion but don't want to include them in your party right away, that companion will travel to this location on their own. Okay. Oh hey, what's this? I didn't see this before. Guide for Travelers, Hunters and Explorers of the River Kingdoms, Volume 5, Monsters and Beasts. Let's see. Werewolves prefer to hunt in groups and attack lone travelers. It's entirely possible that a Varisian camp or troop could turn into a pack of bloodthirsty lycanthropes under cover of darkness. Electrical protection from will-o-wisps and primals. It's best to stay out of a primal's way. Don't fight it, it's extremely dangerous. But if a life is at stake, resort to cold steel. Cold steel is like the same like devils? Lindsay. Oh, it's not voiced, okay. A halfling girl with tousled hair, wearing a dusty traveler's outfit, sits chewing the tip of a quill. Just a moment. How should I put this? Oh, I know. She scribbles something quickly in a notebook scrawled with verse, raises her eyes and gives you a bright smile. Oh, hi. Tell me about yourself. What do you want to know? Where are you from? I'm from all over. I was actually born in Galt, in such a tiny village that it's not even on the maps. If it weren't for my teacher, I'd still be living there, milking goats, weeding turnips, swilling homebrew, having babies, and using books only as kindling. Who was your teacher? He's a true saint. He was once an important person in the capital, at the Church of Shellin. But he got in trouble with the authorities and went on a self-imposed exile to the tiniest, most godforsaken priestless village he could find, the one where I was born. He wanted to open a school, but the villagers wouldn't let him. You can heal us all you like, but no putting any ideas into our children's heads. It only distract them from their work. But he did teach me on the sly. He taught me how to read, how to write, and he gave me books. Poem legends. Poems, legends. He was the one who told me about the Arch Knights of Aviston. When I told him I was going on a journey, he gave me a magic ring so that Shellin would protect me from harm. I haven't seen him since I ran away from home. I hope he's alright. I ask Shellin every day to grant him a long life. And you students. Who are the Arch Knights of Aviston? Oh, you haven't heard of them? How can you be a hero without knowing one of the most epic stories in the history of stories? No, I won't spoil anything. You should just read about them yourself. Every single chapter. Their adventures are what gave me the idea of going on a heroic quest and writing about it to begin with. And now look at me, here I am, on a heroic quest. How'd you become a bard? When I realized there was nothing for me at home besides more radish patches, I decided to run away. A traveling book peddler, Tessie the Quill, happened across our village. Well, I stuck to her like a burr and wouldn't let go until she agreed to take me in as apprentice. Together we travelled everywhere, to Brevoy and Talador, even Ustalav. And when I found out about the Academy of Granarts in Pitax, and I thought, well, I love reading stories, so I can surely learn to write them too. I enrolled on my first try, and they even gave me a scholarship. Then they expelled me, but that's okay. They'd already taught me all the important stuff, and now, with Shellin's help, I can manage on my own. So you worship Shellin? Yes, not to offend the other gods, but she's the most important of them all. All the other gods guard the world as it is, but only the Eternal Rose, the goddess of beauty, calls us to the world as it should be. So why are you so dirty, girl? Lindsay waves her hand carelessly. Forget it. I can't waste money on looks. I'd rather buy books instead. In 100 years, when people are reading my works, they aren't going to ask whether the author had holes in her sleeves. Okay, something else. You come from Pitax, right? Tell me about it. Oh, I love Pitax. Even though they kicked me out, a joyful place. What's it like there? Actually, it's always been one huge nest of thieves, bandits, river pirates, smugglers, fencers, card shops. It's always been home to the likes of them. But that was before Irovetti became king. With him, a whole different life began there. Irovetti always wanted to make history, but not as another bandit with a crown. Though that's exactly what he is. He wanted to be glorified through the centuries as a great patron of the arts, so he built the Academy of Grand Arts and spent lots of gold to assemble the best artists, poets, and musicians. Of course, the best ones refused to go, but he got what he wanted in a way. If Pitax was once a booze barn for thieves, now it's a cabaret. Do you know the king? Of the king. He won his crown in a game of cards. which says as much about Pitax as it does about him. If he's fiendishly clever, some cheats I know told me from the moment he appeared, he started pulling off such schemes that the old city masters just scratched their heads. With him in charge, gold flooded into Pitax, and also he's incredibly, unimaginably fantastically decadent and conceited. Getting drunk with whores at a pub. That's not Lord Irovetti style. Oh no, he aims higher, dressing up like male Calistria with a golden codpiece and holding a 3-week orgy with dancing on the rooftops, parades, public executions, and a contest for the best ode to the great unrivaled king. That's more like it. He also likes singing, and he orders his guards to make the citizens gather for his shows. May Shellin have most on his listeners. Okay, tell me about the academy. You know, jokes aside, I'm thankful to Irovetti for building it, but he has no taste at all, whatsoever. He likes his art loud, bright, grandeur, and more importantly, glorifying his royal highness. He kicked out the best charcoal artist because he didn't wish to spend money on grey scribbles. He sacked a masterful flute player from Tiansha for playing too quietly, and instead ordered them to open a carol drum class. He even ordered the academy to expel me, and for what? An innocent limerick. Oh, would you like to? I want to hear the limerick though. Would you like to go back to the academy? I'd like to return, but on one condition. They threw out 3/4 of the professors who teach there now, and returned all the ones they banished. If you asked me, I'm proud to have them expelled. If my art was to Irovetti's liking, then I would have reason to be ashamed. Oh, okay. That's the way to look at it. Tell me about the book you're writing. What's there to tell? You've seen some of my rough drafts already, haven't you? It's a book about you and your adventures. I'm writing the whole truth, just as it happened. Well, the whole artistic truth. You know, no glory, no story. Why are you writing it though? What's the point? When I was at When I was at the academy, Ebold the Insightful began his literature course with the question, what is a person? What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. And he answered, a person is a storytelling animal. Our world does not consist of things. All these woods, seas and cities, it consists of stories about those things. The stories we tell to ourselves and to each other. Just think about it. Centuries will pass and there will be no me and no you. All your subjects will be long gone. But you and I will live on in people's memories, influence their deeds, thanks to this very book. No offense, but your command of language is not that good. The truth doesn't hurt me. What do you think most of a critic is? That's right, it's me. This is my first real book, and I have much yet to learn. But don't you worry, I will do your feats justice. And if I put my foot in my mouth here and there, then we can print a second edition, revised and corrected. But your book is full of inconsistencies. Is it though? She just started it. How would I know? Well, yes, I can admit that. Sometimes one has to bend a few details for the sake of dramatic effect. It's called poetic truth. I write about everything as if I saw it with my own eyes, even parts of the adventure that I wasn't around for. But I do always carefully question everyone who was with you at the time. Think of it as a general picture. In the end, you're the hero of this book, and I'm just a storyteller. So what kind of character am I? Truth be told, I was a little afraid of meeting a real hero. In books, they're all protectors of the weak and poor, but what about in real life? But you ease all my fears with 2 shakes of a tail. I don't have a tail. You're a true hero, just like the legends. My new fear is that, in 100 years, my readers will say that people like you never existed. But I'm writing the truth. You have an iron core. No matter what tricks fate throws in your path, you always know what's right and what's wrong. Some might say that's boring, but others will learn from you. From your strong character. Okay, how about you? How do you feel about me reading your work in progress? Well, these are only drafts, but of course, you're welcome to read them. Just keep in mind that even if you don't like what I write about, I won't change a single letter, so don't even ask. Of course, it's a book about you, but it's my book, understood? The small writer's eyes glow rebelliously. I mean, yeah. Just write the truth. I have no objection. And she puts her little hand over her heart. Truth, only truth. And just a teensy bit of imaginative exaggeration. Okay. Tell me about your friendship with Tessie the Quill. What's there to say? The book woke my urge to travel, but it was only thanks to Tessie that I managed to really get out of my village. At first, Tessie tried in vain to get rid of me, but later, when I told her I was staying in Pitax, she even shed a tear. I wonder where she is now. Yeah, what's the ring you always have on your finger? Ah, this. Lindsay holds her arm for you to get a clear view of the ring. It was a gift to me from my first teacher. It's magical. Imbued with the powers of Shellin, no less. When I get myself in trouble, it transports me to a safe spot. So please don't be angry with me if I suddenly disappear from a fight. I'll wait for you here. Promise? Wait, so if she dies... Oh, that's a little bit not great, because if she gets defeated, we basically lose her and we would have to go back to a base to get her back. That's how I understand it. So we could probably technically lose some time if she actually falls in battle. Leave and do not return. I don't want to ever see her again. No, why would I say it to her? She's being so nice to us. Just don't leave without me. Of course, I could just write up whatever you tell me, but if I wanted to stay cooped up in a dusty room, I'd still be slipping through lectures in the academy. Noriel Eight Eyes, who's this? The elf looks straight at you, through the tangled hair falling over her face. Hey, you're an adventurer, right? Seeking your fortune in the stolen lands? You aren't the only one of your kind here. Take my advice, keep your eyes open and watch your back. Sometimes the ones who call themselves your friends are more adventurous than your enemies. Judging by her voice, it's obvious that she started the day with a jug of wine. Who are you? The elf grunts. Anorio Eight Eyes. Once upon a time I was famous throughout Absalom. Anorio Eight Eyes of the Reckless Six. Oh, glory passes quickly. A few miserable decades later and no one recognizes you on the streets anymore. What a shame. Why are you called Eight Eyes? Once long ago I could spot an enemy and pin him to the wall before he could even think of attacking. Some said I had 8 eyes and looked all around at once. Though it seems I've outlived my nickname. She stretches her arm forward, her palm trembles noticeably. I've been drinking so much lately. It's best I don't test my skill too often. Oh, what you doing here? I sit here waiting for adventurers who are in need of help. You may be sitting here in a backwoods tavern, but in Absalom I have a lot of friends who are eager to make a few coins. They have brave hearts, but shallow pockets. A lot of gold would be a welcome change for them. I can send them a message and they will come from Absalom through a portal. If you're interested, just give me a sign and we'll arrange everything right away. Oh, so she basically gives me companions, like mercenaries and stuff. Also, I can summon the 2 tutors from the Pathfinder Society who can retrain you and your companions. They're quite willing to do this for free the first 3 times you request their services. After that, the price for retraining will gradually increase. Such is their way of doing business with all new clients. So we can get some generic companions. I mean, I guess we would just have to buy a mercenary and then we could set them up exactly as we would like to, instead of using pre-made NPC companions. Would you like to join me? No, I've got enough things to do already. You'd better manage on your own. Okay, that's fine. We don't really need to talk to her. Svetlana. Good day. I hope you're feeling alright after that battle. I can't thank you enough for what you've done. I definitely don't want to waste your time, but I have a moment. If you have a moment, I have a request. What is it? She lowers her head. This is a very personal request, and maybe not important enough for your time. I'll completely understand if you say no, but the first time the Stag Lord's thugs came here demanding money, they also took my wedding ring. Just tore it off my hand. It's just a trinket, really, but it meant so much to me. I remember every moment of the day Oleg came to me, that ring in hand, to ask if I'd marry him. I was standing in a fancy dress on the stairs of my father's home, fearing that I'd misheard something, or that I'd say something stupid and everyone around would laugh. She interrupts herself, shaking her head gently. If you happen to find my ring among the bandits' possessions, please bring it back to me. It's easy to recognize. My name is engraved inside the band. She drops her eyes, lowering her voice. There is one more thing. Among the bandits, there's a dark-haired woman who wields dual axes. She's not bad in a fight. In fact, she can be extremely dangerous and cruel, but please, I beg you, show her mercy if you have a chance. Is there a reason why I should show her mercy, though? Sure, I'm gonna be happy to help. How did you and your husband find the courage to establish a trading post in the Stolen Lands? It was Oleg's idea, though I supported him in it. We didn't realize how dangerous it was here, of course, and rest of everyone respects the Sword Lords, and everyone's accustomed to relying on them. Even the mention of someone like Lady Jamandi could be enough to fend off a street thug, or some other trouble. It could maybe even work in some places here, but not with the Stag Lord's men. What can you tell me about him? He's not just some average bandit. If no one puts a stop to him, he'll turn the Stolen Lands into his personal kingdom. Kingdom of fear and oppression. It would be a kingdom of lawlessness. Once I've dealt with the Stag Lord, your life will improve. I can't thank you enough for the help you've given me, but please be careful. The Stag Lord is extremely dangerous. It's nice that we do get a like a confirmation. Oh yeah, by the way, this option is gonna make you more lawful good, lawful evil, or whatever. It's convenient. Can I sell you stuff? Greetings! Oleg seems to be in a good mood and greets you warmly. You certainly ruffled those villains' feathers. Well, anyway, new day, new troubles. She may be family to Svetlana. Yeah, she could be family or like a friend or something. So, I like playing a paladin, like a straight up lawful good paladin. So I'm just gonna spare her. Let me drink something more. Well, anyway, new day, new troubles. Have you seen the fog? Never seen anything like it before. On the road to Restov looks like... Oh, the road to Restov looks like someone spilled milk and just hung in the air. I couldn't see anything through that soup. Not even with a torch. Feels like witchcraft to me. I bet the Stag Lord's involved somehow. Rumors say he deals with all kinds of bad magic. Okay, show me your wares. I'm gonna keep the Masterwork Longsword. Okay, with armors though, do I have enough for a full plate? I don't. We could buy a half plate, but is it better? It's only slightly better than what I have. Actually, no, it's not better at all. because my armor is 7 and 1 dexterity. He does have a heavy shield, which is also nice. Where? Why is a box like this? Oh yeah, Cloak of Resistance. Just a silver ring, we can sell it. Nice that it shows me, oh hey, you got this item in Oleg's trading post. Selling this wouldn't allow me to buy the full plate though. Jasper we can sell. Nah, we're not gonna be able to get enough money. It's 350. Wait. Oh, we are gonna be able to buy a full plate. Gimme. Oh, looks so good. And hey, we're still below 77. Oh wow, it's so much weightier. Well, we can sell the abandoned mail. At least we went to medium. I would really... Wait, what's... You see mercs get more expensive the higher level you get, depending on when you want them. Oh. I mean, that makes sense, because you pay for a higher level one. But then again, on the higher level, you have more money to actually buy the more expensive ones, so it kind of balances out, doesn't it? Okay. Oleg, why would you open a trading post in such a dangerous place? Oh yes, most like the noise. Oleg answers reluctantly. I'm from rest up. Cities are complicated. Lots of people and each with their place on the shelf. Bow before this one, fear this other. Don't do business with this third. But be sure to be extra nice to the fourth. And villages are a little better. Everyone likes to stick their noses into each other's business. I just wanted a place where I could be my own master. And so I ended up here. Okay. Do you know anything that could help me fight with the, find the Stag Lord? That's quite a task you've set yourself on. The Stag Lord has a fortress somewhere in the area. But only a few chosen from the most trusted of his rabble are even ever invited. The location of the fortress is a heavily guarded secret. And with this fog hanging around, I'd imagine it would be even harder to find. I suppose you could try to follow the trail of those bandits who attacked the boast before. They came from the southwest, from the side of the Thorn River. The fortress might be there, or at least some large camp of theirs where you can find some information. Okay, what else can you tell me about the Stag Lord? Not much. Not like I've sat down and shared a cup of wine with a man, you know. But I think he arrived in the Stolen Lands less than a year ago, from what I've heard. As soon as he got here, he took over everything. I wrote on to Restov, tried to warn them that the Stag Lord wasn't some typical gang leader, but they didn't listen. The rumors about him are horrible. He'll kill a person if they so much as disagree with him. He never reveals his base. Those who've seen him up close report the same thing. Ugly scars cover every inch of his skin, not covered by his clothes. Maybe tougher during the first chapter, you wanted to get one, but every time he was shot, he went back after leveling. Yeah. But I think it wouldn't be much of an issue on, like, on a normal difficulty. At least it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But I imagine that's on actually, like, very hard difficulties, you would probably want to have a fully customized party instead of what the developers gave you. The Stag Lord's past is a mystery. He just arrived one day. He was immediately a power to be reckoned with. I guess the most surprising thing about him is that he has as many followers who admire him as he has minions who obey him out of fear. He's got some inner strength in him. Or maybe an inner madness. There's many who will seem to follow him because of that madness. Like it was some kind of virtue. Okay, what about... Wait, so right now Okay, I have the full party here, so it counts, okay. Bucking puts his hands on his hips. Ah, old Bucking so knows a few tricks to impress these blood-sucking dummies. No hiding in the damn bushes, I say. Okay, what do you have? Oh wow, he's got a lot of Alchemist's Fire. I wouldn't mind buying a few, actually. Not too heavy. You know what? Let's buy 3 of them.
I'm always ready.
I'm always ready. Can you help me in any way? Glances at you, suddenly interested. Well, since you're asking, there's a cave nearby. I used to pick berries in there, but the place has been overrun by spiders. The berries are red, look a lot like raspberries. Fangberries, I call them. I'd be real grateful if you gathered a basket of them and brought them back. Just be quick if you do. They spoil quickly. Those spiders in the cave are mean. Yeah, let me give you some alchemical fire. Crafted it myself. Burned these spiders to a crisp. I will teach them for taking over my Fangberry cave. I also need a bucket of moon radishes. They're rare and mysterious plants. I don't know where to find them. But I know that kobolds gather them and value them highly. It's not a huge deal, really. I'd do it myself if I were younger. But if you're willing, I'll pay you 3 potions for the berries and a purse full of coins for the radishes. What do you need them for? You want to know, huh? Well, I'll gladly tell you after you bring me some. Okay, sure, I'm going to try to help. Just watch out, alright? Don't end up in someone's lunch. What do you do here again? What's there to tell? I'm an herbalist. Make potions and sell them. Gather herbs, roots, berries. He sighs. I live in the forest. Live off the land. Since leaving Resto for these parts, I ended up a merchant here at Oleg and Svetlana's post. They let me in out of kindness. Help me with the things. They bring me water or firewood when it's cold, and the occasional barrel of honey. They're good people. A barrel of honey. Like, not only is honey so expensive, a whole barrel of it.
I'm there.
Okay, lay on hands, so I can touch myself or I can touch someone. I kind of don't care to pick up these small shield stuff. Amiri is training. That's such a huge ass sword though. We're gonna talk. Amiri utters a wary sigh. Alright, spill it, I'm listening. Said like that, Paladin sounds like a sexual predator. No, no, no. He's a masseuse. I think that's the word. Yeah, Amiri, that's a big-ass sword. It's not a simple weapon, is it? You bet it's not simple. Check out how big it is. She proudly raises the blade, and you notice that even though Amiri is extremely strong, she still has difficulty wielding such a large sword. This sword belonged to a real blasted frost giant. I killed the beast and took this look upon myself. Fits me perfect. My damn trophy. Wait, she killed the frost giant, and she's level 2. Her eyes flash with menace, as if she's challenging some invisible enemy to try taking away her trophy. Why would I tell her to leave? No. I'm just talking. You didn't like it? She shrugs several times, perhaps flexing her muscles, or maybe just filling in the silence. Don't know. She admits at last. Depends on what we are going to talk about. If it's about monsters or swords or scars, I approve. That's good. If you're going to ask questions like why, what for, and how, screw this. She looks you over slowly, head to toe. Or you get even harder ones. Okay, can you tell me about yourself? This simple question seems to puzzle Amiri. She scratches her head, then starts counting on her fingers. First, I'm a barbarian. I'm strong. I grew up in the realm of the Mammoth Lords. I left my tribe, the Six Bears. She looks thoughtfully at her 4 bent fingers and shrugs. And then I fight, she concludes, bending her tongue. But what's it like to be a barbarian of a 6 Bear tribe? Our people are big and strong. We can cut a monster in half with one swing, and we can walk 3 days and nights with no rest, and we can eat a whole fried aurochs. I guess you had to do a lot of training to become as strong as you are. Training? No one freaking trained me. The boys of the 6 Bears got the training. All I could do was watch. Her eyes gleam with anger. And you know what? They were so crappy after all that training because I kicked their butts hard. Animal, bandits, monsters, all thought they were stronger than me, idiots. She spits on the ground. Because if you start a fight, you think you can win. You think you're stronger than your enemy. Amiri raises her chin proudly. I defeated them all. See all the scars on my face? No, actually, she does have a few. What does the realm of the Mammoth Lords look like? Huge and freezing. No place for weaklings. Amiri narrows her eyes as if evaluating your ability to survive in her homeland. Tribes hunt aurochs, herds. To survive, aurochs are fast, so tribe follows herds for days just to not die of hunger. If you're weak, you stay behind and die in the snow. Tribe cannot stop. Also, there are giants and mammoths. Sometimes demons come too, and the mastodons, and these saber-toothed tigers. You would survive, I think, for a few days. Why'd you leave your tribe? She blushes, because they were assholes, all of them. Men were cowards and scoundrels, and women were scared like shit. She rolls her bloodshot eyes in fury. Men there think no girl can be a fighter, because they are weak. They are afraid a woman can beat them. And females just nod, go sew hides, cook meat, watch kids. That's what they always say, but I'm a warrior, damn it. I won't cook hides and watch meat. She is already shouting, her fists clenched tightly. I told them so. I went hunting with men. And what did I get? Still the same. You're a woman. You stay home. Even gave me a nickname, the Soft Chieftain. Like a warrior woman was a funny joke. Damn, I even went to hunt those shit-faced frost giants and... There. She suddenly stops, breathing heavily, sweat beading on her forehead. For a few moments, Amiri waves her hand awkwardly and forces herself to grin. So I left, cowards, scoundrels and sissies they were, that's why. You're a good fighter. She jerks her head up. Quite good, huh? Compared to... who? I was a crappy male. If I was a crappy male, I'd fight better. Is that what you say? She glares at you, and the eyes narrow. Or you say I could be better. Like, go get some training, Amiri, right? I mean... that was just a compliment. For several more seconds, Amira continues to glare at your face with suspicion. Then, all of a sudden, she mellows. True, I fight good. That's what I do best. You're kinda rude, you know that? You bet. She grins and suddenly frowns. I'm a fighter, big and strong. Everyone's afraid of me. I can play the softy. Who would ever fear me then? The contemplative expression disappears from Amiri's face, replaced by a dreamy grin. I enjoy being feared. When I pass by, all the sissies almost faint, knees trembling, teeth chattering, shit dripping down their pants. She falls silent, fascinating with the picture her imagination has created. Okay. Yeah, what's the story with the frost giants? I told you already. They were assholes. They treat women like shit, not fighters. As for giants, I'll tell you later. Someday. Maybe. Okay, we're gonna talk later. Talking. When will we do some monster killing instead? I have to talk to everyone first, Samiri. Don't worry about that. Oh, it's Doggo! Doggo, can we talk? No. Where's Valerie? There she is. Oh, hey, there's a box. A rope. Oh, we may need some rope. Sure, let's have it. Greetings. Valerie sighs. Everything is well, I hope. I'm ready for new orders. Okay, tell me about yourself. What exactly would you like to know? I was born to a noble family. Though I didn't remain long on the family estate. My father sent me to the Order of the Eternal Rose, but I left once I realized that it didn't match my principles. Shaylin. Oh, okay. What's your childhood? What was your childhood like? I was born in Brevoy, but in fact I've never seen much of a country. I spent my childhood on a remote estate owned by my noble family. My father is a respectable philanthropist and a benefactor of the Church of Shellin. He's also a renowned private collector and a great admirer of her arts. My mother saw to my education personally. From my early years, I learned good manners, how to behave at the dinner table, and the proper form of words for every occasion. I also learned the difference between true nobles and low-born upstarts, and I learned how to treat each of them properly. Our home was always under the protection of several paladins of Shellin. My father has donated a handsome sum to their order. One of them, a man of venerable age with a grey beard, once let me touch his shining armor. Okay. Is that a euphemism? I still remember the admiration I felt when I touched the cold, polished steel. Valerie smiles. Of all the memories of my childhood, that one is somehow the warmest one. Why were you sent to the Paladin Order? As you can imagine, from my first days I was surrounded by crowds of servants and nannies who never stopped praising my heavenly beauty. The Paladins of Shellin who used to visit our house echoed these praises. In the end, general consensus overwhelmed my father's better judgment. When I turned 6, I was brought to the Church of Shellin and told that this would be my new home. Don't pity me though, I beg of you. Many who hear the story immediately assume that my parents were cruel and had no love for their child. Her eyes become stern. My parents had respect for me. They taught me something that has supported me all my life, a sense of self-esteem. Besides, they didn't abandon me. Once every 6 months, they would come and visit me at the Order of Eternal Rose. We had some tea, and then had an hour to walk around the garden. Then they would take their leave, as etiquette demanded. Oh yeah, I mean, every good parent knows that if you talk to your child for an hour, like every half a year, it's totally fine. Like, good parenting. Okay, what did they teach you in the Order? A variety of things. Some of them appealed to me, others I simply couldn't accept. I enjoyed the physical activities and swordsmanship, but the arts, calligraphy, painting, poetry, and so many other ways to waste one's time. I guess that deep in my heart, I always knew I'd never be a true paladin of Shellin. Wielding a sword always felt more natural to me than handling a paintbrush. Why do you leave the order? Because of my heavenly beauty. Valerie winces in contempt. According to Schellen's laws, all art is sacred. All art is sacred, whatever form it takes. Severe punishment awaits those who dare harm a painting, sculpture, or poem, no matter how worthless the drivel might be. That's a very strange law. My looks always attracted unwanted attention from the pilgrims and acolytes at the temple. I received my first poem dedicated to me when I was 9. The author was some wealthy geezer, her lips thin in contempt, and that was only the beginning. Sculptures, pictures, poems, I was drowning in them. My admirers mobbed me, and I had to respectfully accept all their garbage. The clerics of the temple were magnanimous, for my suitors made generous offerings to the church, but one time I just snapped. Barely suppressed anger glitters across her eyes. Some wealthy idiot has dedicated an extremely untalented poem to me, and he had the nerve to read it right to my face, holding my sleeve. The hour was late, and I was on my way to get some rest, after a boring lesson on rhymes. I lost control and tore the poem apart, right in front of him. She raises her head proudly. The paladins wanted to impose some punishment upon me. I don't remember which one exactly. They wanted me to repent. Instead, I just gathered my things and left. What did you do after leaving? I set off to Restal. She shrugs. I wanted to get as far away as possible from Schellen and the destiny everyone seemed so ready to force upon me. Besides, the School of Swordsmanship in Restov has quite a decent reputation. Honestly, I was hoping for an opportunity to learn from the famous Aldori masters. Eventually, it became clear that their technique wasn't a good fit for me. They teach to avoid impact, whereas I prefer to raise my shield. But my abilities and skills, which I'd learned at the Order of the Eternal Rose, were enough to make the Sword Lords take an interest in me. They offered me a chance to join the mercenaries who served the Sword Lords, and I accepted. I bet your beauty inspired many people in the Order. Her gaze suddenly becomes cold, and here I'd hoped to avoid the question. She exhales loudly. Well, let's get this over with, once and for all. You should understand that I am perfectly aware that most races, orders, and genders find me physically attractive. It's beyond my power to change that, but I've never given a potential admirer any reason to start a conversation with me. But it doesn't stop them. After leaving the Order, I took a dagger and cut off the long hair they used to praise. Well, now I get letters praising the beauty of my eyes. It was because of my appearance that I ended up in the Order of the Eternal Rose. Though I never wanted to be a paladin, it was because of my beauty that an infinite number of suitors have pursued me. All of them confusing simple politeness with hints of affection. She clenches her fists. Do you know what I really want? You guess Call of the Wild changes Valerie's class to Vindictive Bastard, which guesses something of an unaligned paladin to make him a bit more sense with her class story and attributes. Yeah, because she has paladin training, doesn't she? I want people to stop treating me like a piece of art. I want them to notice that I'm a person, that I'm capable of something more than smiling for paintings, while I sit wearing a lacy satin dress, holding a basket of peaches in my lap. Is that too much to ask? The last question comes out in a shout, though Valerie doesn't seem to realize it. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I get what she's talking about, cause honestly, a lot of attractive women are gonna it's gonna be like this. If an attractive woman is successful in the field, they're gonna bring her down and saying, "Oh, she only got a promotion because she's hot." Even if she really works her ass off to get the promotion or to succeed in any field. So I guess I understand what she's talking about. I'm truly happy that you understand me. Thank you. She smiles at you gratefully, and the smile is full of warmth that you never expected from someone as stern as Valerie. You suddenly realize that you're smiling back at her. Okay, let's change the... Oh wow, so much more stuff opened up. Let's look at her stats though. Yeah, she does have a lot of charisma. It makes sense that she's got constitution, because she's supposed to want to take the hit on the shield. Lawful neutral. It kind of sucks that a paladin has to be lawful good. Is it still the same thing in Pathfinder 2? Because it makes sense for there to be different alignment paladins embodying like different virtues and whatnot. Okay, let's talk more. Tell me about the way of Shellen and about her paladins. Shellen is a goddess of love, beauty, and art. Her paladins are something like armored artists. That's how they like to think of themselves, at least. She tries to contain her feelings, but her inner contempt bursts forth. They are fanatical defenders of worthless, inartistic paintings and meaningless oppuses, if you care to know my opinion. What do they usually do? They wander around seeking the next pile of garbage, and when they find it, they call it an immortal piece of art and admire it until they're blue in the face. You might not believe this, but the paladins of Shellen aren't allowed to slay their enemies if they beg for mercy. Can you guess why? Because a bandit, rapist, or murderer who has been put to the sword will never be able to create something beautiful in the future. So a paladin overpowers her enemy in battle and inspires him to create a masterpiece. Her face reflects extreme disgust. It might be sound hilarious if it weren't true. Oh wait, that's a very stupid reason to actually spare someone who yeah, that makes no sense at all. Plus, all of Shellen's followers are obliged to practice some sort of art in his or her free time every single day, no matter what else is going on, even if you're feeling sick or hungry or sleepy. Otherwise, according to their clerics, you lose your connection with your goddess. A preposterous notion, would you agree? Yeah, that makes sense. What did the goddess of beauty do to earn your anger? She's been trying to ruin my life. She snorts. Shellen, the goddess of everything useless that ever existed in this life. All the beauty in the world, all the art, all the soulful sighs in the moonlight. I'll never feed a single family. Is she, don't really know. A few paladins who worship her practice courtly love. And I beg you to restrain yourself from offering your own opinion. Trust me, I've heard everything you can tell me. More than once. Nothing and nobody can change my mind. She looks at you with suspicion. As for Shellen, she's the goddess of idlers. I almost joined her preposterous entourage. I'm just glad I was smart enough to denounce her while I still could. I mean, I guess that not every piece of art is good or even decent. But surely there must be at least a few great works among them. Is that what you think? She curves an eyebrow, mocking amazement. Many share that delusion. I was deluded too for a while. Now I consider all works of art useless. People create this garbage because they have nothing better to do. The peasant doesn't paint a picture. He plows the earth to feed his family. The soldier has no time for sculpture. He must defend his homeland. But idlers and slackers have plenty of time to waste, so they smear canvases with paint and imagine they've done something worthy and valuable. What about playing bongos during a festival? Okay, you said that every paladin must practice a piece of art, some kind of art. What kind of art did you pursue? Ah, that. I used to embroider. I still do it from time to time. A treacherous blush covers Valerie's cheeks. It's nothing, I assure you. Just a simple task to keep my hands busy and keep the gloomy tots at bay. Nothing special. You're an idler, Valerie! Your embroiderment embroidery isn't gonna protect a peasant. Why are you doing it? You're a hypocrite. Wow, so much stuff to talk about. So you're an atheist. You don't worship any deity? Right. I need no guidance from above. I have my own good conscience and my leader's orders to live by. Okay. You do know you don't have to follow etiquette when talking to me, yeah? I'm aware of that, she sighs, but I'm sure you understand that I'm what I am. That's how I was brought up. First by my parents, then by my mentors in the order. Besides, I was born to a noble family, so I rather enjoy the idea that my manner of speech differs a bit from the common language of a peasantry. You just can't imagine how many social climbers have bowed politely the moment I opened my mouth. I guess you have plenty of suitors? She rolls her eyes. Sally, you're right to suppose that. Even here, in these remote lands, one can find offspring of many noble houses, and all of them consider it their duty to kneel before me, begging me to walk with them in the garden. Her voice overflows with contempt. If words were poison, you'd be dying a horrible death. Oh, and don't forget about the village oafs. They understand the concept of nobility perfectly well, so they realize they'll be punished if they dare make any advance towards me. So they prefer to stare from a distance drooling, and believe me, I can very well imagine what they discuss in the taverns. Valerie shivers and jerks her shoulders, as if trying to shed the sticky, disgusting stares. Okay, no, that's creepy. So you're eager to follow my orders. Why? What do you mean, why? She looks at you in bewilderment. I follow your orders. I've joined your campaign because I have faith in you. I believe your intentions to be noble, though things may not always turn out as you planned. You are my commander. Your orders are law. It's my duty to follow them. She hesitates for a moment. Well, so long as you don't order me to do something that's absolutely dishonorable. But that would never happen, I hope. I guess. Okay, bye-bye. Can we look at the goddess here? Shellen. Where do we see the god that they believe? She's chaotic goods. Oh. So it's only a choice for a character that actually where it matters, like here. Huh. I don't think I like that. I think it would make sense for like every character to have a deity they worship. So it seems like only a paladin and a cleric and I don't know. I guess only those two, maybe like an inquisitor too, would have a Oh wow, that's a lot of text. Local good, neutral good, chaotic good, neutral. Okay. I wonder if the conversation was different, if actually was a paladin of Shellen. Maybe? Probably. Okay. We talked with everyone.
I do what I must.
I do what I must. So we could go there. There are some which we haven't taken it. It's fine. Sure, let's take it, leave. Just looking at the map first.